Welcome back everybody to Moderate Mods, and today we're going to be dealing with the 1979 Triumph TR7 Roadster. A little bit chilly for an open-top car, but nonetheless this is a really rather interesting vehicle, especially in terms of British car history. And yeah, obviously it's not the most powerful car ever, and yeah, certainly one of the slower ones on the series, but yeah, it should prove a good vehicle to upgrade and at least drive even in stock or upgraded form. So let's get out there and see what this car can do in terms of its stock form, stock power output and the like, and then we can see what happens when we upgrade it. So obviously only moderately. So let's take a look at the stats first. So we're in D class, the lower end of D class. And yeah, that's the stats. Reasonable speed and launch. Braking and handling is pretty good as well for a car from the period, but the acceleration is quite low because yeah, it's only got 92 horsepower and 106 pounds-feet of torque with its 2-litre inline-4 naturally aspirated engine. But it does only weigh 2,249 pounds, which is fairly light, even for a car of this size, because the TR vehicles from Triumph were getting bigger and larger as they went through their generations. So yeah, but and it has 55%, 45% front and rear weight as well, which is very nearly bang on. So yeah, should hopefully prove to be a good platform to upgrade on. But to see how much of a difference the upgrades make, we're obviously going to take this around the circuit in stock form and yeah, compare the two. So let's get going. So yeah, not the quickest. Even though the launch is the way it is on the stats, because we're practically starting on a hill, it's not the best for lower powered cars like this. But once this car gets going, it is really rather fun. And to be honest, if you're expecting a powerful, lightweight British sports car from this period, then look elsewhere, because yeah, British sports cars were never meant to be massively powerful. Obviously there were more powerful versions than this on Triumph, for instance. The TR6 PI, which we also have on this game, is yeah, far more powerful than this is, and therefore far quicker and even a better car, to be honest, because I prefer the looks to that. But yeah, still both great cars. But obviously there was a more powerful version of this than the one we have in this game, in the form of the TR8, which had the Rover V8 in it. Sadly, can't actually swap that into this on this game, so which is a great shame, to be honest. I was looking forward to being able to do that when I knew that this was coming onto the game, but sadly, unlike with the MG that we've also used on this series, you can't swap that engine in, despite that being the case in real life. But I still like the engine in this. It's nice and high revving, it sounds pretty good, just quite frankly needs more power in it. What we're going to be doing when we upgrade it. So yeah, 1 minute 29.740 is our first lap time. Definitely something that can be improved upon. Now the handling on this is good, but I get the feeling that it's only as good as it is because you know, you don't have the power and the torque and the acceleration and the speed to really challenge the handling to its maximum or go beyond its limit. So the handling is going to get upgraded, even though it is reasonable as it is. It's because I feel like any extra power and torque and is going to really take its toll on the handling of this car. But it is good in terms of stock form, in terms of handling. It's really light and agile. Fourth gear is not the best gear though. Regardless, 1 minute 19.863, so nearly around 10 seconds quicker there, which is massive. So let's see if we can improve any further on this final lap. Does lean a bit, but that is no surprise. Cars in the 70s when their suspension were hardly the most sophisticated or the stiffest. I do hope we get more British Leyland vehicles though in this game. We have very few of them, and there are far more iconic cars out there yet to be added on to this game from that period. So I hope they do it at some point. But regardless, there we go, no improvement on that final lap, so 1 minute 19.863 is our fastest lap time in this stock car. So yeah, let's get to the garage, upgrade it, and see if we can improve on that. So here is the car in all its glory, and yeah, I think this is a properly good car, to be honest. I like the overall layout. Obviously front engine and rear wheel drive is a perfect layout for a sports car like this, and yeah, very lightweight as well, principally because I've not tried to, you know, make it more practical than it needs to be, and yeah, also I think it looks fairly good as well. Don't see the criticisms that were levelled at the car at the time, to be honest. But yeah, here's the acceleration times in its stock form. That's 16 12.2 seconds, which isn't bad for a sub 100 horsepower car. 0 to 147.9 and to 109 miles an hour. So yeah, reasonable, but yeah, definitely got the potential for being better. Not going to swap the engine out or do any naturally aspirated engine changes in forced induction, should I say. Certainly in terms of swapping engines, because yeah, these are far too powerful for my liking, more than 3 times the power, and yeah, turbochargers and superchargers would be far too complicated for an engine of this type, especially since it's yeah a British Leyland engine, and they were hardly known for their ability to take more power than they were known for, and yeah, turbochargers and superchargers just complicate those engines. So yeah, but we are going to upgrade it in terms of, you know, cubic capacity. We'll bump it up to 2.2 litres, and we'll give it street valves, street exhaust, basically street everything, to be honest, but a sporty carburettor, sporty intake and manifold, street intake, street pistons and what? Compression, yeah. I like an even number, you know me. What's gonna bump it up to a even round number? Sporty valves. Sporty exhaust? Nope. Looks like we're not going to get it with this. Yeah, we go. So yeah, they're 140 in terms of horsepower, 162 in terms of pound-feet of torque. We'll do the brakes, because they are a flaw, but not substantially so. Slightly lower it, only by, what was it, 0.52 of an inch, so only a little over half an inch. Get sporty anti-roll bars and rear and front. I don't think we really need to line it in any substantial way. Yeah, that takes that speaker and something else, which yeah, you really wouldn't want to be doing, because it just makes it more impractical. Give it a street clutch. Nice. I was going to say street gearbox, but that ruins the launch and acceleration for some reason, so we'll leave that, and then we'll give it a racing driving line. Massively lighten it, but lightens it regardless, especially since we're going to put wider tyres on, which can make a car heavier. We'll widen the tyres front and rear, not massively so, but enough to make a slight difference in terms of handling. And yeah, we can't really do anything in terms of body work, as you can see. can take the rear thing off, but yeah, it only takes off £4 and makes the car more impractical. So yeah, there we go. Not massive different changes, but 21,000 credits is how much that cost, which when you consider we've taken £21 off and given the car an extra 48 horsepower is fairly good. Not come out of D-Class though, but yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how much of a difference it makes. Acceleration wise it certainly made a difference, and top speed wise now 0 to 60 in 8.209 seconds, so nearly 4 seconds quicker. 0 to 125.446 seconds, so yeah, we're talking more than 20 seconds quicker to 100, and it now do 127 miles an hour, so yeah, we've got 18 mile an hour quicker than originally. So yeah, substantial upgrades in terms of acceleration and speed there. But let's get back to the circuit and see if that makes any difference in terms of how quick this car can go. So like I said earlier, it's not moved out of D-Class, but it's up the higher end now rather than the lower end, and yeah, handling and braking has been bumped up, launch is better, acceleration is substantially better, we're nearly 1 point higher, and yeah, top speed is better as a result. And yeah, that's because we're slightly lighter. Got 48 extra horsepower, got about, what, nearly 60 extra pound-feet of torque. It's now 2.2 litre naturally aspirated inline 4, so yeah, this should be far faster. At least I hope it will be, because that is a substantial upgrade. Not entirely sure what the V8 version in terms of power and torque had, but I know the V8 that you can swap in gives about 190 horsepower thereabouts, maybe slightly less in terms of what you swap into a car. Obviously the V8 in the Range Rover only is about 135. So yeah, we're not quite as close to what the V8 might well have had, but that car is going to be obviously heavier, I imagine, being a bit of V8, but then again it is an aluminium block V8 and they can be quite lightweight, so yeah, not sure if it's going to be as quick as that car, but because we can't obviously use that version, either in terms of a fantasy version by swapping the engine in, or the actual car itself, we'll never quite know, but it would be interesting to actually get one of those in this game at some point, or at least just give us the option to swap the engine in. But regardless, this yeah definitely feels a lot sharper, and yeah, noticeably quicker. The gearbox ruined the acceleration and the launch, because yeah, might well have been necessary to have that at some, in terms of when the car is actually getting going. But as you can see, we're accelerating in 4th gear now rather than staying at the same kind of speed or slowing down. Obviously this hill is problematic in that regard, but yeah, definitely quicker, and 1 minute 22.149 is our first lap time, so that's about 7 seconds quicker than our original first lap time, which is good. Sounds pretty good as well. Not sure if it's any noticeably different in terms of what the original car sounded like. Crucially, it doesn't sound worse, so that's always a good thing. Could well have put different cams on this, but I like to keep it in the 20,000 range in terms of credits. That seems like a moderate increase in terms of the upgrades that the car has, or which you can give it. That's 1 minute 13.724, so we're now substantially quicker than the original car by 6 seconds now. Let's see if we can increase that gap. Still think this car has some way to go before the limit of its handling and braking is right on the edge, because yeah, it still feels on the whole extremely planted. Plenty of grip and turning and braking on offer. And there we go, a final increase there, and a time of 1 minute 13.407. So not a massive increase like the first to second lap was, but an increase regardless. And yeah, a mightily impressive car, to be honest, in terms of the amount of time that it's actually improved, because the original car's fastest time was 1 minute 19.863. So yeah, more than 6 seconds faster is a notable difference. And yeah, the car itself hasn't really lost any of its personality. It's still a lightweight, reasonably quick sports car from the 70s. It just so happens now that it's able to maintain a good rate of speed, is better in terms of acceleration, and yeah, a little sharper in terms of handling and braking to make it even easier to drive than it was originally. So yeah, really do like this car, stock form or otherwise. And yeah, if it ever becomes available in the festival playlist again, then I highly recommend getting it. Nonetheless, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.